Welcome to the SMB Community Podcast with hosts Amy Babinchek, James Kernan, and Karl Palachuk. Produced by Kernan Consulting and for the international MSP community. We are dedicated to making every IT professional a successful IT professional.
Hi, this is Karl. Welcome to another SMB Community Podcast. I'm joined today by Dor Eisner, who is the CEO and co-founder of Guardz, working to create a safer digital world for SMBs. Dor has over 20 years experience in the field of cybersecurity, and he has worked at some great places, including Insights and Alarum, and he began his work in cybersecurity with IDF's 8200 unit as cybersecurity team lead. We're going to talk a little bit about Guardz, but we're going to talk mostly about cybersecurity. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Karl. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you. And, I gave a tiny bit of an overview, but give us a fuller view of how you got into cybersecurity and why you have an accent.
Sounds good. So I started my journey in the cybersecurity space about 20 years ago in the Israeli intelligence force. And this was a great journey so far because, first of all, 20 years ago, when no one talked about cybersecurity, it was a great adventure, to start and learn and develop myself as a technical lead in these top technologies back in the days. But it's also part of my journey today when I'm building products for protecting small businesses. And this is a great achievement for me. And I'm super proud of the journey so far and the way forward.
Very cool. And what got you interested in securing smaller businesses versus, you could write one check from Intel or Apple and you're set for life, right?
That's a great question, Karl. So in my previous venture before Guardz, we've built a threat intelligence company. So we monitor the dark web at scale, like we monitored all the black markets, the cybercrime forums and stuff like that. And eventually, long story short, we sold the business to Rapid7 about 5 years after we started the company because we realized that Rapid7 can scale it much to a bigger service and a bigger, delivery. But in the early days of the journey, we realized that by scraping the dark web and monitoring the different black markets, there are so many attack as a service tools that are being offered in the dark web. And at the beginning of the journey, we realized that those attack as a service tools are becoming more sophisticated and becoming more automated. So after we sold the business to Rapid7, as I mentioned, like three years ago, we started to download those tools and started to play with those tools. And we realized that those tools are really going to make a change in the cybersecurity landscape because they are not going to work against the big guys. They are not really going to attack like the Bank of America network operations.
Oh, that's interesting.
So those attack as a service tools are focusing on scaling their operations against small businesses because they are more vulnerable. And phishing tool automation or like ransomware tool automation, fraud as a service, and stuff like that are pretty easy to get around small businesses. And it's just spray and pray, and it's a very scalable and profitable business for the bad guys. And we wanted to do something good for the world. So we wanted, to focus on where we are going to have much impact. It wasn't about the money because we already sold the company and we already, it's something about doing good for the world. And we saw a great potential in helping small businesses to secure their business. And that was the inception of the company and the inception around Guardz. We saw that there is not a lot around, modern approach for cybersecurity for this market. Most of the technologies and like they are all point solutions and like traditional stuff like, antiviruses and like traditional email gateways and those tools, that started like 5-10 years ago, they are not really relevant to protect the threats of today and the threats of tomorrow. And that's why we started Guardz, and that's our mission to help small businesses secure their business. And after about 2 months when we started the company, we realized that the way to go is to help MSPs because the small businesses themselves, they don't know what is the potential risk against for their business. They think, they are safe because they are small, and, they don't need to worry about, the bad guys. The bad guys will go after the big guys. But that's not true. Reality changed in the last 2 to 5 years, and actually about 50% of the attacks of threats of today are targeting small businesses specifically.
Well, that's an interesting point about these tool sets are literally designed for the small business. Like, people need to really know that. And I think you're right. Too many, especially, we have all the problems with HIPAA and healthcare where the doctors say, oh, nobody's after my data. And it's like, no, nobody's after your data, but you do have what we call a random IP address. Right. So, you don't think that nobody's going to get you just because they're not after you. But these small tools, I love that idea that, they would be ineffective at Bank of America, but they'd be very effective at a small business, especially if it has nothing in place. So let me back up a bit. So tell me about Guardz and how, like, cybersecurity is such a big term. What does Guardz do that's different from other services out there?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we actually mapped what are the top common attacks like against small businesses. We took a different angle to monitor it. We are talking with the insurance carrier and stuff like that, and we are bringing data from the insurance carriers around cyber insurance about the claims data from this segment of the market. And based on that, we know exactly what are the top trends and what are the top attacks targeting small businesses. And we obviously build a strong foundation around the top attack vectors or the right security controls that are relevant for small businesses around the identity in the cloud, like the cloud directory, like the Microsoft 365 or the Google Workspace. And from that point, we are scanning all the external footprint of the business because we have all the domains, the subdomains and stuff like that. We are scanning the dark web for external exposure, like data leakage and early indicators for attack. Like, for example, if we found a credential leakage in the wild, probably this user at some point in time in the near future will be targeted with the tailored phishing attack because it's easy. They know their email address, they know which company they are, they know how big is the company, and they know what they can get from the business. So those kind of things. And then we are protecting the emails, the devices, the awareness of the employees, and we are building kind of all you need, all the essentials you need to protect small business in the right platform, but with the right automation and the right connection of the dots. Because it's not just about put the best of breed device protection or put the best of breed email protection if you can't really see what is flying between those tools or how these tools communicate with each other or how you can log all the things that are happening in this customer environment into a single pane of glass. And that's what Guardz is doing. We are taking all the right attack vectors and connecting the dots in a simulated automated platform to develop detection and response at scale. Because at the end of the day, if you are an MSP, you are not going to put someone 24/7 to monitor all of your accounts 24/7 and all the tools that you deployed over those accounts. It just won't work. It just won't fly. So that's what we are doing.
And the threats keep growing. There's more threats today than there were when I went to bed last night.
Yeah, exactly. And they are also multi-layered attacks. They are not just about, a phishing email, because today a phishing email is landing in the email, but it's doing other things, like it's changing the rules in the Microsoft 365, it's creating suspicious logins, it's changing a lot of things in the network. It's just a simple example here, but it won't be relevant if you will just detect the phishing email after the employee already clicked on the link, because the malware already deployed, or the rules already changed in your cloud directory, or someone already took credentials for the data sharing or for the Google Drive or for the OneDrive and stuff like that, and will already take all the data. So it's not really relevant if you have just a single protection or a point solution for each attack.
So you're trying to do, quote unquote, everything. You're trying to get all of the attack vectors, which, so would you argue that people could buy fewer tools because they don't need a separate tool for this and a separate tool for that?
Yes, that's the point, but it's not just about the tools, it's more about the unified detection response. That's, we claim, our claim to fame is that you won't have, if you have the best car and you don't have the right driver, and you don't have the right, connection to the data and stuff like that. So it's just not relevant if you have the most expensive car in place. It's more about, if you know how to drive the car, if you know how to connect the car to the right systems, if you know how to collect the data, if you know when to put the electricity in this engine, what do you need to change, how you can, ride this car to the right destination.
So you're heavy on the managed part of MDR. So let me take a quick break and just give folks the website is Guardz, GUARDZ.com. And there's a link where they can set up a meeting and talk to you, plus lots of other good stuff. And we're going to put all of the social media links into the show notes if people want to get in touch with you. And by the way, thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn. So I appreciate that. So you mentioned the insurance, and I think that is a huge area where a lot of people haven't given enough attention. The insurance industry has kind of helped us out because there's government standards and there's a handful of industry standards, but it's the insurance companies who are saying, go through this list because we know for a fact if you go through this list, you're going to be more secure and we're going to have to pay out less money. So how do you work with insurance companies to help improve your systems?
Yeah, that's a great thing. So very early in the journey, we developed relationship with big carriers in the US, and what we learned is the right claims data. And then one of the carriers asked if we can develop the product based on his specific data, and we are doing it for the last 2 years or so. And it's a great combination because first of all, we can bring this client, this SMB client, better insurance, better coverage, and better cost with the right peace of mind because we have the security controls and we can streamline the insurance coverage. In this regard, we have like a brokerage that we acquired, so we are also playing as the brokers in this regard, but it's a separate business to the security. Obviously, we are not in the insurance business. We are just streamlining insurance if needed. But the core function is to get the data. It's all about data, and it's all about the right data. If you have the right data, you can build the right security protection. If you don't have the right data, it's just not relevant if you just put all the different tools in place.
And do have those checklists changed? You said, like the world's changed in the last 2 to 5 years. Have those checklists from insurance companies changed dramatically?
It's crazy. It's changing every few months. Every few months, we are seeing a different trend and different types of attacks that are trending in the dark web and around attack as a service. And we are developing our product accordingly. So I kind of call it the framework of reality. If someone asks me which framework you are, based on, there are, the categories of NIST and ISO and IPA, and they are all coming with different, points of, changes because someone from this industry thinks that this is the most important. Of course, this is important because this is the regulation, and you need to keep going on the regulation. But the reality is that threats are changing every few months, and you need to be on top of your cyber game.
Well, and if you're on the defensive, you don't get to decide what the next attack is or what it looks like or, who gets to attack you. You have to respond to absolutely everything. So in the US, I can't sell insurance without being, going through licensing and being a broker and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I can't sell security and insurance. Like we have all these rules and regulations. So what exactly is your relationship like? If I engage with Guardz, can you guarantee me a lower insurance rate? Can you connect me with somebody who's going to pay attention to the fact that I'm using your system?
You can get a quote directly from the Guardz platform as an MSP. You can connect your client into the Guardz platform. They can get a quote, and the quote is going to a third-party carrier via a broker, and you get a better pricing. By the way, you can check, it's not a commitment, to buying the quote from Guardz. You can do your market research and find the best rate and the best premium. But yeah, it's available in the market today.
So it's kind of the goal everybody's searching for is right. This is how I reduce my insurance rate is right, and you can help me get pointed in the right direction.
Yes, exactly. And it's pretty automated through the platform, and everything is digitally. So you don't need to get, all the papers, to fill out. It's pretty amazing in the terms of the digitalization of the process.
And how is Guards sold? Is it per end user, per endpoint, per
Yeah,
human being?
Yeah, it's per end user per month. We believe in transparent pricing and transparent service delivery and everything. So we have the prices on the website. The starting price is $5 per user per month for 100 users. You can go below, you can go above, and the prices will change accordingly. And that's it. And it's pretty much everything that MSPs needs to streamline cybersecurity for small businesses around all the relevant attack vectors like the M365 or the Google Workspace. So we are integrating with those platforms to collect all of the users' data, devices, and stuff like that. And from that point, we are protecting the emails, the external exposure, the data repositories, the awareness of the employees, and lots of things to automate the detection and response across those controls.
So if I start with, let's say, 1,000 endpoints, 1,000 users, am I locked into that for 3 years and I can't move up
No,
and I
no,
can't
no, no,
move
no, no.
down? And
No, you can add more users, you can scale down. There is no like commitment that we are charging. If you want to get advanced capabilities, you need to commit for 1 year, but there is no mandatory. So you can start like pay as you go. You can run the platform. By the way, you can start a trial for 2 weeks without any commitment, without zero commitment. And above all of that, we are offering a community package for the MSPs themselves, free forever. So you as an MSP, you can get onboarded to Guards, and you can start your account without any commitment, with zero charge forever for your specific MSP. You can evaluate the platform forever. You can add clients for another evaluations. You can run tons of things in the platform, and you will get all the detection and response that we are providing for the community.
so, and on that response, how automated is the response? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, it's totally automated response." And we're like, "Yeah, I'm not sure that I want that. I
That's
want
a
a
great
human being in there somewhere."
That's a great question. So we have two options in the platform that you as an MSP you can choose. You can choose like approval required or fully automated. If you want approval required, so you are the one that is going to click the button and take the action, or you can do it via our AI-powered automation. It's pretty much our AI agent is much smarter than most security analysts today because of the power of AI. But you can decide that you want to be on top of that and you want to click the button to take action.
Right. Very cool. And so I like the internal use licensing. A lot of companies have gotten away from that, or it's very, very limited. So if you think about a small MSP, what's the best way that they can get started? Is it to do that free 2 week extravaganza and move
Yes,
from there?
they can. Yeah, they don't need even to talk with sales or something like that. They can just go to the Guards website, guards.com, Guards with a Z, and they can just start a trial. And from that point, if they will claim that they are an MSP, they will get the community licenses. This community license is unlimited for the specific MSP instance. And there are tons of things that they can do with the platform. First of all, they can check their existing protection and what Guards is doing to improve that protection. They can also test it for new clients, to see what they are getting. And we have other things in the platform, like, for example, a prospecting report that you can generate from the platform. As an MSP owner, you are going to meet with the client next week, and you want to check what is the security posture of this client. So with the Guards platform, we have an automated prospecting report where you can click on a button in the platform and just put the domain of this business, and we will generate a beautiful prospecting report that is branded with the MSP colors and brand and logo and everything. And from that point, you can just print it out or send it to the client before the meeting or after the meeting, whatever the strategy that you want to do here. And we are helping you to grow your business, because we believe that if the MSP will grow the business, obviously Guards will grow the business, and it's a win-win because we are selling purely to the MSP community.
And do I need to log into each client system, or do I have like a dashboard where I can see across the clients?
Yeah, it's a multi-tenant platform by design. So it's one single dashboard for all the tenants, all the clients across all the security controls that we have in the platform. It's one-click deployment. So it's only onboarding with the Microsoft 365 or the Google Workspace. And from that point, you're already getting tons of value. If you want to deploy the Guardz agent, it's another click of a button just to deploy the Guardz agent. And the Guardz agent will check all the posture of the devices across the specific customer and will give you a lot of insights. And if you want to enable the automated detection and response, then the Guardz agent will connect to the Microsoft Defender Freemium Edition or the Mac X Protect and will give you the ability to detect and respond to threats on the device, like isolate the device and stuff like that.
So we're almost out of time, but I do want to ask a question you probably don't want to answer, but that is, how much do you analyze the data of your MSP partners' endpoints? Like, how much are you looking at all of the data from all of those people all over the world?
So it's automation, you know, we are not looking on the data itself. We are looking on threats that the defender is discovering. And based on the threats, we are raising an alert on the specific tenant. But obviously, we are logging the threats in the platform in order to build, you know, this mechanism of automated detection response. Because if we discover one threat specifically in one of the agents or coming from the dark web, we want to learn the platform. We want to teach the platform to detect and learn better to protect other clients. So that's part of the, you know, the day-to-day of the platform.
And I'm assuming you continue to go tiptoe into the dark web and find all the new tools and download them and play with them and figure out what they're doing next.
That's part of the evolvement of the trends landscape. It's, you know, super important to be on top of that. And obviously it's part of our job, you know, to make sure that we are putting all the right efforts into detecting new threats.
And how much of that do you do just for fun? And how much is like, no, I have to do this because it's my job?
It's basically mostly for fun because we enjoy our day-to-day, but obviously it's also for, you know, for the business.
Very good. So we're going to send folks to guardz.com, Guardz with a Z, and also to your social media links. Dor Eisner, CEO of Guardz, thank you for being with us. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish?
Thank you, Karl, and I would love, you know, to add any MSP to the community. It's a great offering, it's a great platform, and you can test it out for free forever.
Very good. Thank you. And this has been Karl Palachuk with another SMB Community Podcast. Thank you for tuning into the SMB Community Podcast. If you found this useful, interesting, or fun, please subscribe, share with your friends, and give us a thumbs up on your favorite social media. Please check out the show notes at smbcommunitypodcast.com and give us your feedback.